Did you know that over 90% of processed foods contain added sugars?
Warning, this video may cause you to never want to eat sugar ever again. So you might want to pause this video and get your last dose before I reveal some very interesting information.
Often hiding behind 61 different names on ingredient lists, or that the average American consumes nearly 3,400 milligrams of sodium daily, far exceeding the recommended limit of 2,300 milliliters. Much of this nutritional damage happens during our regular trips to budget retailers like Walmart. While the prices might seem right, what's actually in those shopping carts could be silently undermining your health.
So unfortunately, popcorn is not on the menu if you're doing keto. In fact, it's very unfriendly keto. But today we're going to talk about microwave popcorn.
From deceptively family-friendly frozen meals to seemingly innocent breakfast cereals, the aisles are filled with products designed to hook you with flavor while overlooking nutrition.
So you may never eat cereal again after watching this video. So this is a warning, just letting you know. I mean, everyone knows that cereal is the healthy way.
Join us as we expose the top 10 Walmart food items that nutrition experts recommend you leave on the shelf. Your body will thank you. When life gets hectic and time becomes scarce, those colorful boxes in Walmart's freezer section beckon with promises of quick, affordable family dinners. But have you ever wondered what makes these meals so inexpensive and shelf-stable? The answer might disturb your appetite. A typical family-sized frozen lasagna contains upwards of 1,500 milliliters of sodium per serving. And let's be honest, who eats just one serving? That means a single meal could potentially deliver your entire day's recommended sodium intake.
There is something in the kitchen that is posing as a health risk to you and your family, and no, it is not the Gator lunchbox. Something that most of us take every day for lunch. We're talking about deli meat.
These excessive sodium levels contribute directly to hypertension and increased risk of heart disease, particularly concerning when these products are marketed toward budget-conscious families who may rely on them regularly. Beyond sodium, these meals harbor an alarming array of preservatives. Butylated hydroxytoluene, BHT, propyl gallate, and sodium benzoate might sound like chemistry class flashbacks, but they're standard ingredients in these frozen options. While they keep your meal from spoiling, research suggests potential links between these compounds and behavioral issues in children, endocrine disruption, and even certain cancers with long-term exposure. Nutritionally speaking, most family-sized frozen meals fall drastically short. A chemical analysis of popular budget lasagnas found they contained only half the vegetable content suggested by their packaging images, with the tomato sauce often diluted with water thickeners and red dye rather than actual tomatoes. The cheese often isn't real cheese but a cheese product, a processed concoction of oil and dairy derivatives engineered to melt appealingly but lacking the nutritional benefits of actual cheese. Great value breakfast cereals. You might think you're making a smart budget choice by selecting Walmart's great value cereals over name brands, but the nutritional profile tells a different story. Those colorful boxes promising to start your day right are often sugar bombs in disguise, with some varieties containing more sugar per serving than a chocolate candy bar. The typical great value fruit-flavored cereal contains between 12 and 16 grams of sugar per serving. That's nearly 4 teaspoons in a single bowl. But here's the catch. The listed serving sizes, usually around 3 or 4 cup, are notoriously smaller than what most people actually pour into their bowls. Double that portion, which many consumers do, and suddenly you've consumed 8 teaspoons of sugar before your day has even properly begun. The artificial colors in these budget cereals deserve special scrutiny. Yellow 5, red 40, and blue 1 give these cereals their appealing rainbow appearance. But research has linked these petroleum-derived colorants to behavioral issues in children, including increased hyperactivity and reduced concentration, precisely the opposite of what children need before heading to school. A 2021 comparative study found that great value cereals contained, on average, 30% more artificial coloring than their name brand counterparts, likely to compensate for lower quality base ingredients. Then there's the issue of refined carbohydrates. These cereals typically use heavily processed white flours stripped of their natural fiber and nutrients, then fortified with a spray of synthetic vitamins. This process creates rapid-digesting carbohydrates that cause blood sugar spikes followed by crashes, setting up both children and adults for mid-morning energy slumps and increased hunger. Packaged deli meats. Those neatly stacked packages of budget deli meats in Walmart's refrigerated section offer undeniable convenience for quick lunches and protein fixes. However, beneath that convenient packaging lies a concerning reality about what you're actually consuming. The sodium content in packaged deli meats is nothing short of alarming. A standard 2-ounce serving, about 2 slices of great value ham, contains approximately 680 millimoles of sodium, nearly a third of your daily recommended limit. Regular consumption of these high-sodium products has been directly linked to increased blood pressure, with studies showing that habitual deli meat eaters have a 42% higher risk of developing hypertension over a 5-year period compared to those who rarely consume these products. More troubling than the salt are the nitrates and nitrites used to preserve these meats and give them their characteristic pink color. These compounds convert to nitrosamines in the body, potent carcinogens that have been consistently linked to increased colorectal cancer risk. The World Health Organization now classifies processed meats in the same carcinogenic category as tobacco smoke, albeit at different potency levels. Budget brands typically contain higher levels of these preservatives than premium alternatives, as they are used to extend shelf life and compensate for lower quality meat sources. The processing methods themselves raise additional concerns. Many budget deli meats undergo a process called meat gluing, where meat scraps are bound together using transglutaminase enzymes to create the appearance of a single piece of meat. This process not only creates textures far removed from natural meat, but also introduces additional compounds that may trigger inflammatory responses in sensitive individuals. Bottled salad dressings.
Let's be honest, the best part of any salad is the dressing, but I feel like most store-bought dressings fall a little bit flat. They're not usually made with the highest quality ingredients.
The colorful array of bottled dressings in Walmart's condiment aisle might seem like innocent flavor enhancers for your healthy salads. However, these convenient bottles often transform nutritious vegetables into delivery vehicles for problematic ingredients that undermine your health goals. The oil base in most budget dressings deserves particular scrutiny. Rather than using heart-healthy olive or avocado oils, most great value and budget brand dressings rely on inflammatory soybean and canola oils. These highly processed oils contain disproportionate levels of omega-6 fatty acids which, when consumed in excess, as most Americans do, promote systemic inflammation, a key driver in numerous chronic diseases. One analysis found that switching from commercial dressings to homemade olive oil varieties reduced inflammatory markers by 29% in regular consumers after just 6 weeks. Sugar content in these dressings is equally concerning. A 2-tablespoon serving of great value French dressing contains 7 grams of sugar, nearly 2 teaspoons, and most people use considerably more than the suggested serving size. This means your healthy salad might contain more added sugar than a small cookie. The irony isn't lost on nutritionists, who note that many consumers choose salads specifically to reduce sugar consumption. The preservative profile of these products raises additional red flags. Potassium sorbate, sodium benzoate, and calcium disodium EDTA might keep these dressings shelf-stable for months, but research suggests these compounds may disrupt gut bacteria balance and potentially contribute to digestive issues with regular consumption. A 2019 study found that frequent consumption of foods containing these particular preservatives correlated with reduced microbial diversity in the gut, a marker associated with compromised immune function. Microwave popcorn. That convenient little package promising warm, buttery movie night goodness in minutes might be one of the most chemically complex items in your Walmart shopping cart. Microwave popcorn represents a perfect storm of concerning ingredients hidden behind the innocent facade of a whole grain. The bag itself poses the first problem. Most microwave popcorn bags are lined with perfluorooctanoic acid, PFOA, a chemical formerly used in Teflon manufacturing. When heated to high temperatures, these compounds can leach into your popcorn and subsequently your bloodstream. PFOA has been classified as a likely carcinogen and persists in the human body for years after exposure. Studies have linked elevated PFOA blood levels to kidney and testicular cancer, immune system dysfunction, and thyroid disorders. The butter flavoring in these products deserves equal scrutiny. Most budget brands use diacetyl and 2,3-pentanedione to create that characteristic buttery taste. These compounds have been strongly linked to respiratory issues when inhaled regularly, so much so that they've caused an occupational lung disease called popcorn lung among factory workers. While manufacturers claim consumer exposure is minimal, the steam released when opening a fresh bag contains concentrated amounts of these chemicals. Trans fats lurk in many budget microwave popcorn brands despite label claims. Manufacturers exploit a labeling loophole, allowing products with less than 0.5 g trans fat per serving to claim 0 g trans fat on the nutrition panel. Since a typical microwave popcorn bag contains 3 or 4 servings, you could actually consume significant amounts of these heart-damaging fats while believing the product is trans fat free. The artificial flavor mixtures in these products contain proprietary chemical blends protected as trade secrets, meaning manufacturers aren't required to disclose the specific compounds used. However, independent lab analysis of popular budget brands found an average of 27 synthetic compounds per product, including several that have never undergone specific safety testing for food use but are permitted under generally recognized as safe regulatory exemptions. Great value sodas and flavored drinks. That colorful array of budget-friendly sodas and juice drinks dominating entire aisles at Walmart represents perhaps the single most problematic category of consumable products. These liquid sugar vehicles deliver a concentrated dose of problematic ingredients with virtually no nutritional benefit. High fructose corn syrup, HFCS, forms the foundation of most great value sodas and flavored drinks, with a typical 20-ounce bottle containing around 65 grams, equivalent to 16 teaspoons of sugar. Unlike glucose, which can be metabolized by every cell in your body, fructose must be processed exclusively by your liver. This unique metabolic pathway creates particular stress on liver function, with research linking regular HFCS consumption to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, insulin resistance, and increased visceral fat accumulation. Artificial sweeteners in diet varieties pose different but equally concerning issues. Aspartame, commonly used in great value diet sodas, has been linked to disruption of gut bacteria, altered glucose tolerance, and even increased risk of stroke and dementia in long-term observational studies. Perhaps most counterintuitively, artificial sweeteners appear to increase cravings for sweet foods by disrupting the brain's reward pathways, potentially explaining why diet soda drinkers don't typically lose weight and often consume more calories overall. Phosphoric acid, which gives many colas their tangy flavor and extends shelf life, creates additional health concerns. Regular consumption of phosphoric acid-containing beverages has been definitively linked to reduced bone density and increased fracture risk, particularly concerning for children and adolescents whose bones are still developing. A 2018 study found that teenagers who consumed cola drinks daily had measurably lower bone mineral density than non-consumers, with the effect most pronounced in females. The caramel coloring in brown sodas contains 4-methylimidazole, 4-MeI, a compound formed during manufacturing that California has listed as a carcinogen. Laboratory analysis found that great value cola contained significantly higher levels of 4-MeI than premium brands, likely due to less refined manufacturing processes. Frozen pizza options. Few items in the Walmart freezer section offer the same combination of convenience, comfort, and budget friendliness as frozen pizzas. However, these circular discs of processed ingredients represent a nutritional minefield for unsuspecting consumers. The cheese substitutes used on budget frozen pizzas deserve particular attention. Rather than real dairy cheese, many great value and budget brand pizzas use cheese food products, concoctions of modified food starch, partially hydrogenated oils, and minimal actual dairy. These products are engineered specifically to melt appealingly while costing significantly less than real cheese. The result is a pizza topping that delivers the visual and textural experience of cheese while providing none of its nutritional benefits and introducing compounds that have no place in natural food. The crust itself exemplifies the problems with ultra-processed carbohydrates. Made from bleached, bromated flour stripped of fiber and nutrients, these crusts have glycemic index values comparable to pure table sugar. This means they spike blood glucose rapidly, creating the classic energy surge and crash cycle that leaves you hungry again shortly after eating. One study found that participants who ate budget frozen pizza reported feeling hungry again 68% sooner than those who consumed fresh pizza made with similar ingredients. The meat toppings on these products contain a concerning array of fillers and preservatives. Pepperoni on budget pizzas typically contains mechanically separated meat, a paste-like product made by forcing bones with attached meat under high pressure through a sieve, soy protein concentrate to extend volume, and nitrates that convert to carcinogenic nitrosamines when heated. Laboratory analysis found that the actual meat content in budget pizza toppings averaged just 61%, with the remainder comprised of fillers, binders, and flavor enhancers. The sauce, which should be a simple tomato-based product, often contains high-fructose corn syrup, modified food starch, and artificial flavoring agents designed to compensate for the minimal actual tomato content. Flavor chemists have developed compounds that mimic the taste of slow-simmered tomato sauce while using a fraction of the actual fruit, allowing manufacturers to list tomato prominently while delivering minimal nutritional benefits. Packaged cookies and snack cakes. Those brightly colored packages of budget cookies and snack cakes lining Walmart's snack aisles represent some of the most highly engineered food-like products available, designed specifically to hit your brain's pleasure centers while keeping production costs remarkably low. Trans fats remain a significant concern in these products despite label claims. While manufacturers have reduced partially hydrogenated oils due to regulatory pressure, many budget cookies and cakes still contain small amounts that add up quickly with regular consumption. They exploit the same labeling loophole mentioned earlier. Products can claim 0g trans fat if they contain less than 0.5g per serving. However, a 2019 independent laboratory analysis found measurable trans fat levels in 87% of tested budget snack cakes despite 0g claims on their packaging. Palm oil has largely replaced partially hydrogenated oils in these products, creating a different set of concerns. While technically not a trans fat, palm oil contains approximately 50% saturated fat, significantly higher than most other vegetable oils. Its widespread use in budget baked goods contributes significantly to excessive saturated fat consumption. Additionally, palm oil production is linked to devastating environmental consequences, including deforestation and habitat destruction for endangered species like orangutans. The sugar content in these products goes far beyond simple sweetening. Great value cookies and snack cakes typically contain multiple forms of sugar, including corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, dextrose, and sugar, often with several types appearing in a single product. This combination of sweeteners creates a more intense and sustained sugar impact than any single sweetener could provide, essentially overwhelming your taste buds and reinforcing cravings. Perhaps most concerning are the artificial flavors and emulsifiers that form the backbone of these products. Compounds like propylene glycol, polysorbate 60, and artificial vanilla, vanillin create flavor and texture experiences designed to keep you reaching for more. Studies suggest certain emulsifiers may disrupt gut barrier function and potentially contribute to inflammatory bowel conditions with regular consumption. The long-term health implications of regular consumption are significant. A 15-year longitudinal study published in 2018 found that participants who regularly consumed packaged snack cakes and cookies, 5+ servings weekly, had a 42% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to those who consumed them rarely, independent of other dietary and lifestyle factors. The researchers specifically noted that budget brand products appeared to carry higher risk profiles than premium brands, likely due to their particular ingredient formulations. Canned soups and stews. Those convenient, shelf-stable cans of soup lining Walmart's aisles might seem like wholesome meal solutions, especially when adorned with images of garden-fresh vegetables and home-style appeal. However, the reality inside those cans tells a different nutritional story. The BPA bisphenol A lining used in most canned foods, including budget soups and stews, presents the first concern. This industrial chemical helps prevent metal from contaminating food but leaches into your meal, particularly acidic foods like tomato-based soups. BPA is a known endocrine disruptor that mimics estrogen in the body, with research linking it to reproductive issues, metabolic disorders, and increased cancer risks. While some premium brands have switched to BPA-free linings, most budget options at Walmart still use traditional BPA-containing materials. Sodium content in canned soups reaches nearly incomprehensible levels. A single cup of great value chicken noodle soup, half a typical can, contains approximately 940 milliliters of sodium, more than 40% of the daily recommended limit. For consumers who eat the entire can, which most do, this means consuming almost an entire day's sodium in one simple meal. This excessive sodium doesn't just affect blood pressure, it also masks the typically bland, low-quality ingredients used in these products. The actual nutritional content reveals how these products fail to deliver on their wholesome image. Laboratory analysis of budget chicken soups found they contained an average of 25% less protein than claimed on their nutrition panels, with microscopic examination revealing that much of the meat consisted of mechanically separated chicken parts rather than the chicken breast pieces implied by package imagery. Similarly, the vegetable content in budget vegetable soups averaged just 29% by weight, with the remainder consisting of water, thickeners, and flavor compounds. Particularly concerning is how these products target vulnerable populations. Marketing studies reveal that canned soups are disproportionately consumed by elderly individuals living alone, low-income families, and college students, precisely the demographics most in need of genuine nutrition rather than sodium-laden, nutrient-poor alternatives. The perceived healthfulness of soup as a category creates a health halo that manufacturers exploit through packaging imagery suggesting garden-fresh ingredients and homemade quality. Instant noodle products. Those brightly colored packages of instant noodles at Walmart, selling for as little as 25 cents each, might seem like budget-saving miracles, but they represent perhaps the ultimate example of calories devoid of nutrition, with concerning ingredients hidden behind their convenience. Monosodium glutamate (MSG) forms the flavor foundation of most instant noodle products. While this flavor enhancer creates the characteristic umami taste that makes these products satisfying, research has linked regular MSG consumption to metabolic syndrome, weight gain independent of calorie intake, and headaches in sensitive individuals. Budget brands typically contain significantly higher MSG levels than premium alternatives. A 2020 analysis found Great Value Ramen contained approximately 20% more MSG than leading national brands. The palm oil used to pre-fry the noodles before dehydration creates additional concerns. This process is what allows the noodles to rehydrate so quickly, but it also means every serving delivers a significant dose of highly saturated fat. A single package provides approximately 14-16 grams of fat, much of it saturated, equivalent to eating about 7 strips of bacon worth of fat, yet without any of protein that at least bacon would provide. The refined white flour used in these noodles has been stripped of virtually all nutritional value and fiber, creating a simple carbohydrate load that digests rapidly and spikes blood sugar. When combined with the high sodium and fat content, this creates a particularly problematic nutritional profile. Studies show that regular instant noodle consumers have significantly higher risks of metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance, and elevated triglycerides compared to non-consumers, even when controlling for overall diet quality and caloric intake. The flavoring packets contain a chemical cocktail beyond just MSG, disodium inosinate, disodium guanylate, hydrolyzed vegetable protein, and artificial colors create flavor and visual appeal while bearing no resemblance to actual food ingredients. These synthetic compounds have undergone minimal long-term safety testing, particularly in combinations and at the frequency many budget-conscious consumers eat these products.